Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rafe Gal. This is Final Fantasy V. And this is going to be a grind session. And math. I'm actually going to start off with the math portion, because I need to know how much I need to grind. So, what we're going to do... I don't know how many of these I need, but they're 750 a piece. I need 4 plumed hats, 4 of the silver breastplate, and 3 silver armlets, just to be safe. I'm going to be using the glasses for the next section, but I just want to get all this out of the way. So, just do a little bit of quick math. Yeah. Carry the 1, 2, 3. Okay. And I am at 58 currently, so everything that I'm getting is going to be going straight into that. The other thing I want to get offhand is... I'm thinking I'd like to get up to... Red Mage... I want to get Red Mage going on each of my characters, basically. I can only have 2 at a time. I have to have 2. But I think, especially for boss fights, being able to have potential for red magic on each character is good. And actually, for out of battle is a really good thing. Okay. So, I get 630 per fight. So just getting that first 5,300 won't take too long. Here's the trick. After that, I need to buy rods. I'm using rods to break them, which means that they don't get to stick around afterwards. Which means that's 750. So basically, 1 wild knack fight gets me almost a rod. Almost. And I'm feeling like I would like a lot of rods. We'll see where we end up. That's really where it comes down to, is we'll see how long this ends up taking and where my classes end up and what my level ends up at. I don't need the levels as much if I can do the grind and get the if I can get the grind and get the money. But getting both isn't going to be bad. I mean, that's one of the big things here is I'm basically going to be setting the groundwork for the rest of this part of the game here. I also, I mean, this is I'm probably going to end up coming back here later anyway, so I might as well do it while the levels are worth something, while the XP is worth something. I mean, it's not a ton of XP per fight, but it's worth more now than it will be later. They do not give a lot of ability points. That's one of the downsides here. And I know that. I should probably double check. I don't actually know if you can steal from these guys. Yeah, they've got an item. Let's double check what it is just to be safe. I don't want to steal from like all of them, but if it's worthwhile. I mean, if it's an item that sells well or that's worth a decent amount of money, nope. It was worth figuring out. I mean, if it did happen to be an item that was worth a little bit of money, I would have been able to steal those to get some extra gold, although I don't know if the time would be worth it given how hard that steal was. Thief Glove's coming up, and then that'll be a lot easier. Also, Ninja's coming up, which will make potentially leveling a little bit easier. Although, that means the animation is going to take twice as long too. If they're overkilling. So, realistically, probably not going to be dual equipped for a lot of that. Okay. Check where I'm at after this. I have not been counting. I just want to get my numbers. Okay, so yeah, I'm almost already at the armor. I'm actually not going to go buy the armor right away because the armor I'm wearing actually increases power. So while I'm going to want the other armor to get through another section later, it's not essential right now. And I'd rather just keep doing what I'm doing. So, I currently have my base value. I've got enough to get the gear that I want. Anything else here is going into rods directly. And that's basically going to be how I get through the rest of this section. Straight up. The rest of this section of the game is going to be a mix of breaking rods, ninja scrolls, and that sort of thing. So, I'm probably not going to get a ton thinking about it, but I'm probably going to want at least like 10 or so. I know I want a couple ice rods, I know I want a couple fire rods. I don't actually remember where the lightning ones get used, but I'm feeling like I want a couple thunder. So, and I may actually look that up here. I should have looked it up before I started doing this. Having kind of an off day, so I figured that grinding gold would probably go a long way to just being, you know, having a numb brain for a while. And then I remembered I had to talk. Oh. I actually spent the last hour or two playing Hearthstone, just having a little bit of fun with that. I have not been super impressed with the latest, Does Ferris not have a mithril dagger? I feel like she's doing way less damage than everyone else. Yeah, so I've spent the last hour or two playing Hearthstone, and it was really having fun, but I need something a little more brainless, like holding A while walking around in a circle. I really like their new set that came out, in theory, but I have hated actually playing it, so I've been playing the wild mode. I'm really enjoying it. Just getting to play with, you know, whatever is floating around, and I'm actually doing better than I have, just since there's less competitive, there's a less strict competitive metagame for it. I like weird decks in card games, and normally I like weird builds in games like this as well. I like playing around with the game and figuring out how the weird stuff works. How you can have fun and do something cool and good without just doing the most powerful, obvious thing, if that makes sense. I always get crap because when I'm playing tabletop RPGs, I am very good at breaking the system. If I want to make a broken character, I can. I'm just bad at it because I get to the point where I'm like, I have an idea and I know how to break the game. And everyone's like, oh, this is gonna be scary. And I'm like, I figured out how to give myself, you know, a huge bonus for my character to find out financial situations. Wait, what? Or I have a character who happens to be very good at architecture. That sort of thing. It's surprising how often those things are actually useful. It just requires a little bit of creativity. And it's more fun than being the guy who is very good at hitting stuff, because that's obvious. Obviously, that's less useful in a Final Fantasy game, and it does tend to be a little less useful in a card game when you go into that, because at the end of the day, that is numbers. Okay. So that was enough to get them red 1. I'm trying to remember what Thief 4 gives. Because I'd really like red 3 on everyone by the end. Just so I can use life outside of battle. For my classes like Thief that don't use MP during battle, being able to give them red temporarily seems really good. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and swap these. I will do that still. I really just want to get everyone red 1 at least, so that they can heal outside battle. So basically, I've got these thieves, and during battle, they're not going to be using MP. So what that means is that when I leave the battle, they are going to be able to heal up my party without inconveniencing the actual battle structure, I guess. Apparently there's a big gap in base strength between Thief and Red Mage that I was not thinking about, because I was told Red Mage had bad base power. Yeah, no, I've always kind of liked doing a little bit of an oddball strategy in games, sometimes at least. Like, I remember very much when I was in, when I first started doing PC gaming, my friends and I played a lot of Counter-Strike, and it drove them absolutely crazy because I wouldn't buy the good weapons. I used the offhand ones, or like the base pistol and stuff like that, and just winged it basically. And I mean, I got good with those weapons because I used them all the time, but they're still not as good as the regular weapon, the real weapons. So I always had a terrible record. I always dragged my team down, which is part of the reason I don't play the team games like that anymore. I'm always really hesitant because I feel bad when I play Overwatch because I can't keep up with a lot of other people, or I'm okay with Heroes. I'm a little better with Heroes of the Storm, just because I've found a few characters that fit my playstyle. But so when I first started playing, I was playing some of the worst characters and just not knowing what I was doing, some of the hardest characters. And like, this is a lot of fun, and then my team would lose because I didn't know what I was doing. So I hesitate about playing those type of games a lot. By the way, I apologize if you wanted me to sit and talk about killing dogs for, this entire time. Or, my deep and thorough upcoming strategy for this game that I'm kind of winging anyway. I figured these types of situations are a good opportunity to just talk. And if you don't want to watch the grind sessions, feel free. I'll probably end up going on rants about other games, or talking about some of my favorite other games, or what I like or don't like, or what I've done in other versions of other playthroughs of this game, or stuff like that. Because, quite frankly, these grind sessions, these are the short grind sessions, like, all things considered. There's a few later in the game. From the runs I've seen, there's a few good spots later in the game to just grind up to the point where you're going to be able to win. Basically, instead of fighting every battle, you fight the best enemies for that section to get the most efficient levels, and then you run from the rest of the battles. So that's kind of what I'm gonna be doing here. Like, I'm grinding out here, but once I actually get to Fireship, unless there's items I need to steal from enemies, yeah, that's about it. We're just gonna be running away. It's kind of like in the Lufia 2 runs where you evade a lot of the enemies, especially in the later floors. It's like, you could if you kill everything on your way down, the run takes like 10 hours, but you can do it. And at that point, you're higher level, but you're still gonna get killed in one round by a gold dragon. And a lot of this run is gonna be, Chemist has a really broken ability. Ninja has a really powerful ability. Red Mage is going to be supporting with healing spells, and that's basically it. And breaking rods. you know, to do bursts of elemental damage, and the thief is genuinely gonna be probably gonna be doubling up on the chemist, honestly, or the ninja for throw, because it's not a strong class, and being able to do that later in the game is gonna be really nice. The thing I'm more worried about with a lot of this is just being able to actually... Yeah, I really want to just get red 1 for everyone, so I'm gonna do 12 more. The thing I'm more worried about as I'm going along with the game is largely the fact that my classes have a lot of overlap in regards to equipment. Specifically, like I'll have the ninja knife, the chicken knife, and one of the thief weapons. There are 3 decently powerful daggers in the game, but theoretically my thief might be dual wielding also, for parts of the game at least, and yeah, I'm really just not sure where I'm at on that. Guess we'll find out. By the way, since I mentioned Hearthstone earlier, one of the other random things that I was thinking about doing videos for was Hearthstone. Just getting on the ladder or doing like a daily quest or whatever. Or I know one of the streamers I watch, Chewy, who he does a magic podcast and streams stuff on Twitch and YouTube. But he always does the Tavern Brawl on Hearthstone every week. And while I'm not a huge Tavern Brawl fan, I mean, it's just something like that, just a once a week thing. Seems like it could be fun, but I wasn't sure how much interest there was, so let me know. Because it's one of those things that I do enjoy, and I don't ever feel like I get to talk about, except with Nikki, but that doesn't happen very often. And we end up just playing Hearthstone instead. So yeah, if that's something that you're interested in seeing or hearing me talk more about, or both at the same time, since that is kind of how this works, let me know. Or if there are particular types of games. I've kind of been doing a mix now with the XCOM. I was doing mostly classic stuff, like SNES era. That's also the stuff that I have the best, setup for, because I don't need to worry about my computer crapping out on me or having really bad load times. Like, I was really shocked when Portal crapped out on me, of all things. Like, Portal's not a new game, and it completely crapped out on me. I'm fairly sure my computer has some problems right now, and I really should do something about it, but I work in IT, and the last thing I want to do when I get home at the end of the day is take my computer apart and try and fix it. Okay. Okay. 6 more. Will get me up to at least the job stuff I want. And I'll have plenty of money and a little bit left over to grab some like Phoenix Downs, but since I'm pretty sure I'm almost out of those, seems like a good thing to do. I did not factor that in when I was looking at items. Oh. I'm gonna be really disappointed if I get through all of this and find out that I actually needed way more rods than I've got. Like, I am gonna go look this up afterwards before I get too far, and I may even just, like, if I end up needing to grind more, just combining the two videos like I have with a few other ones where I've gotten interrupted. Although, it seems like that video editing software screws with my resolution for some reason. I'm still not 100% sure what's going on with that. Again, with that whole if I wanted to tech support when I got home thing. I also don't have good editing software. I got some freeware stuff that works okay. But it's very just okay. The actual screen capture software I use, I mostly like. I'm actually having problems with it recording games with low resolutions. Like RPG Maker games just straight up don't work on it. Which is really too bad because I really wanted to, one of the guys I went to college with, whose name is Phil, has been doing independent game design stuff for the last, actually, since almost that time, I think. But more seriously recently. And, I've tried going... I have all of his games on Steam, and I was going to go through and do a playthrough on one of them. Just because I thought it'd be a really fun little thing, and it'd be something he would enjoy. You know, I like to do little nods like that. And it didn't work. I also have a game that I absolutely adore called An Untitled Story. And it is... I am not 100% sure, but I am fairly sure that the guy who made it was made by one guy, and I'm pretty sure he used MS Paint to make this game. Like, genuinely, this is not an exaggeration. Genuinely, I am fairly sure that he used MS Paint to design this game. Untitled Story. And it is weird. You start out as an egg and you roll around, and it's like a Metroidvania game where you have to go through and collect items to progress further. Paris always throws me off with that because she is, everyone else's thief outfits are green and hers has like actual colors to it. Okay. So, let's go get our stuff. But yeah, Untitled Story, if you ever want, I think it's by a guy, the name of the company is like Matt Makes Games or something like that. I forgot I could get swords. I feel so much better right now. Like, I can do a lot more damage. Okay, then. That felt pretty good. I'm thinking... Actually, wait. Holy crap. I like that better. I lost a little bit of money from the swords. But... now, that means I can do this. That's a really low attack rating, isn't it? Oh well, we'll play with it. We'll figure it out. Flails can be used from the back row with no loss of damage. Okay, so everything seems like it's much better, except for the next section. I actually want the glasses equipped instead of the silver bands, now that I've gone through and done that for everyone. Let me check how many Phoenix Stones I actually have. Three Phoenix Downs is not a lot. This seems like another thing that's worth doing in this menu, so while I'm doing this episode, this housekeeping crap. And I'm never going to be able to use whips. I'm never going to be able to use bells. I'm going to keep this because I can't remember, and because I can throw it. I'm going to keep that, and get rid of the bronze, get rid of the leather, get rid of the silk, get rid of the shoes. I don't think I can wear that with anyone. Get rid of the leather helmets. And then I'll keep these for now. Okay. So I'm intentionally keeping these items up at the top because when I'm in battle, I have to be able to switch between them for equipment. I'm gonna go to the inn real quick. So I only have 3 Phoenix Downs. I've been grinding for a little while here. And I feel like I need to do a little bit more to get some Phoenix Downs. So we're gonna do another lap. I'm gonna kill 5 more. That will give me 3,000 gold, which is enough to get I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think they have a higher variable damage. But yeah, no, I'm totally getting a little bit more money just to get Phoenix Downs. I should be able to get, like I said, if I do 5 more battles, that's like 3,000 gold, so I can get like 3 Phoenix Downs. and not actually spend all my money again. So that when I get to the next town, I actually have the ability to do anything, because I'm not going to be fighting things in the next areas, most likely. Okay, I'm okay with this now. It is a little bit more variable, and it is a lower accuracy weapon, which is part of why the damage is so variable. But they're in the back row, which probably isn't great while I'm grinding, but when I actually am fighting bosses, my healer being in the back row means they're less likely to die. I think that's a fairly straightforward concept, and I hope that you approve. Levels that put them at 15. See, this is one of those frustrating things, because I was told level 16 is one of the magic numbers, for Thief specifically, that makes it hit harder. And I'm almost there, but I just got 15, which means that it's going to take a little while. And I'm guessing there's going to be something else coming up that's better. And I'm really not worried about the next section, considering the fact that I've been grinding and gotten a few levels, and I've got my, my stabs and stuff. Or my rods, rather. Those ice rods are going to be sick. Like, seriously, they do a ton of damage. Okay. So, we're gonna grab 3 Phoenix Downs. I'm not gonna bother wasting a tent right now, or money on an inn right now. I'm just gonna heal up with a cure spell. And we're gonna get ready to roll out. So, that was this grind session. A little bit longer than the other ones, but we got 4 levels, we got a lot of equipment, and we got a lot of rods. So, hopefully you're enjoying this, despite the, slight monotony of a grind session. That's why I'm separating the videos. Let me know if you want me to keep separating them. Let me know if you're enjoying the way I'm doing this, as far as the breaking them up. Let me know if you want me to talk about something specific, or if you don't care. I mean, like I said, I'm probably going to end up just rambling on these longer grind sessions that are taking, however, what is it, about 40 minutes? A little less than 40 minutes? That's a long time for me to sit and talk about, the same, I'm literally doing the same fight for that entire time, so, I would love some input as to what you don't want me to talk about. I'll go with that, rather than just what you want me to talk about, because I may not have anything to say on it. If you're okay with this random crap, I'm okay with talking about random crap for a while. Or just picking topics and mentioning that in the grind videos of what the topic is going to be on the later ones. I'm okay with that too. So, give me a like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Questions, suggestions in the comments. And next time, we will be taking on the Fire Ship and the escape from Karnak Castle. And honestly, we might make it over to the library. Although we have to grind there again, so that's probably where we're gonna stop, is get to the library. Might bust through it, but there's an area after, or there's a spot right after the library where we do need to grind. So, that will probably be where I take my next break. So, I will catch you next time. I have been Rafe Gal. This is Final Fantasy V, Four Job Fiesta, and hopefully we'll make some progress next time. Have a good one.